We got another Who Wins video coming to you. This one is going to be Jermall Charlo versus Chris Eubank Jr. Now, a lot of people give Chris Eubank Jr. a lot of hell. They say he's not a good fighter. I've heard not just Jermall, I've seen comments, I don't know where it's coming from, but Jermall Charlo even said it. Said Chris Eubank Jr. is chinny, which absolutely is false. That is a false statement. Chris Eubank Jr. has a solid chin, a solid chin. Um, so let's compare Chris Eubank Jr. and Jermall Charlo. Who would win that fight if they ever did end up fighting? So Chris Eubank Jr. He used to campaign at cruiserweight, and he campaigned at 168, but he's at 160 now. So you got a Chris Eubank that's 29 wins, 2 losses, 22 KOs with a 70% KO rating. 31 years of age, 5'11", 72.5-inch reach. You got Jermall Charlo, 31 wins, 0 losses, 22 knockouts. So him and Chris Eubank have the same knockout percentage and amount. Jermall Charlo's a year younger, 30 years old. He's an inch taller, 6 foot, slightly longer reach at 73.5 inches. So you got Chris Eubank Jr. has good speed, pretty decent puncher, great chin. Not the footwork is not really there. He's pretty flat-footed, but he's another boxer that you don't really see him as much move his head. He's a volume puncher, good combo puncher. He likes to put combinations together like 2s and 3s. He's one of you dudes that he'll hit you with like 3 or 4, and then if you stand there, he'll still keep hitting you with them same ones, and then he'll sometimes move out. Then you got Jermall Charlo, excellent power, excellent speed, great chin. Another one with a good chin, solid chin, good head movement, decent head movement. He's not like a volume puncher like that. He's a much more calculated puncher than Chris Eubank Jr. So with this fight, it will come down to if who can take each other's power. Because I think people underestimate Chris Eubank Jr. with his power. I mean, you can clearly see both of them have 22 knockouts, and I get you can argue the fact that Chris Eubank his level of competition wasn't as great as Jermall Charlo's, but Charlo. He ain't really fought that many people either. When you look through his resume, he fought some good names, but it's not to the point where he just drastically fought so many more bigger names than Chris Eubank. No. They both fought Matt Karabov. Matt Karabov gave Jermall Charlo some issues. When Matt Karabov fought Chris Eubank Jr., it didn't get to go far because Matt Karabov pulled his shoulder, so they had to stop the fight. But he was beating Chris Eubank in the first round of that fight, though. But the fight would look like it would be probably one of those fights that it would be one of those high punch count fights, man. Strictly because Chris Eubank Jr. is a volume puncher. Jermall Charlo is not, but he's a counter puncher as well, and it's gonna come down to the power, who can handle it the most. And I think I'll give Jermall Charlo more than likely the edge, I guess, in the chin arena. But Chris Eubank Jr.'s chin is legendary as well. You can't really count him out. And I think, to be honest, as far as I'm concerned, I think that fight is much closer than people might think it'll end up being. They almost have equal height, equal reach. KO rating is the same. Eubanks is a year older. They have almost the same amount of fights on hand. I think exactly the same amount of fights. 31 fights apiece. They both have 31 bouts under their belt. The thing is, though, with Charlo, he has the more calculated punching, and patience is everything in boxing. You know what I mean? You can't really rush a lot of things. When you rush things, that's when bad things happen, knockouts and stuff. I've seen it. Ask Manny Pacquiao. But I see that fight likely going towards Jermall Charlo for the win. I can't see Charlo knocking out Chris Eubank Jr. I see it being a 12-round decision for Jermall Charlo, simply because Charlo's not gonna sit there. He's not gonna he's not gonna sit there and bang with him and trade constantly. He's gonna trade, move. Chris Eubank Jr. is gonna want to sit there and trade with him. Charlo's gonna get out the way, counter him. He might clip him with something. He might get hurt in this fight. I see Chris Eubank getting hurt, but I don't see him getting stopped. I see it going to 12 rounds decision for Jermall Charlo. Simply for the, like I stated, Charlo's a better mover than Chris Eubank Jr. He's gonna know where to place his punches at. Chris Eubank gonna get sloppy, overzealous, and he's gonna miss and wing a lot of his punches. But he's gonna touch Charlo up in that fight, believe that. But he's not gonna he's gonna miss a lot, and that's gonna be the downfall. He's gonna miss a lot of fights. He's gonna probably get a little frustrated. And I think Jermall Charlo might outbox him on points because he's the better boxer. So that's my decision on that fight. If they ever did fight, I got Jermall Charlo winning the 12th round decision. Let me know what you think about this fight. Who you think would win if Chris Eubank Jr. and Jermall Charlo ever fought? Drop a comment, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.